Hello all you bladers, so this is part 2 of learning how to make a competitive Dynamite Battle or Beyblade Burst Ultimate combo using the parts of the series that I have in my collection, plus the drivers. So if you want to learn that, just watch through the video, all the parts. This is part 2. In part 1, the last video that I released, we basically seeded out the parts that we do not need. For example, we took out the Phoenix core, we took out an extra Divine Blade, we took out the Nexus disc, etc., etc. So all of these parts in here are parts that you will use, whether it be for some niche use or for very good use. So what we're going to do now is that we have all these parts, we're going to group them into categories. So first of all, with the layers, I have them in two separates right now. I have them in lefts and rights. Now, chain is supposed to be here. Burst should theoretically be here, and guilty should be over here. So, essentially what you have now is you have all the right spins over here, every right spin here, every dual spin here, and every left spin here. There are other left spins that are viable, like Roar, and there are other dual spins that are viable, like Super R/Super M, but these are the ones that I have. So, first of all, guilty is your top tier KO attacker. So we're going to place, no matter spin direction, we're going to place the bays into separate categories. So guilty, we're going to place Zyphoid here as a KO attacker. We're going to place Savior, we're going to place Ultimate, and we're going to place Divine, just to kind of have it as a separate thing. So this is like KO attacker, right? Then we're going to have just stamina. So we're going to have Vanish here. We're going to have Wind here. And we're going to have Dynamite F-Gear here. Now, even though it's Stamina, this section here, the basic idea is that you'll also be able to use these in other combinations, right? You can use Vanish or Dynamite on something like Rise for a more anti-attack. You can use something like Wind on Mobius as a staller, but this is just generally top tier stamina layers, right? And then you have the equalizer layers. So you have Prominence, Gatling, and Greatest Raphael. These are best for equalization type things. And then Zest Achilles is more of aggressive, but it's a dual spin bay. And then Burst and Astral are both similar in that they're very good stamina, but they also combine a lot of recoil. Burst is probably better, but Astral does have some specific uses. So we're going to place Chain, Astral, and Burst over here because they have some good stamina and some recoil to go with that. And we're also going to place Zest over here. So again, these are equalizers, stamina, KO attack, and more of recoil-ish aggressive bays. Now, out of these, obviously, Prominence and Greatest are more defensive, Gatling's more aggressive, so we're going to seed out the options that are not as good, but first we're going to do the discs. So for the discs, we basically are going to have more aggressive discs that could be used. So we're going to have Nexus plus... how do we do this? Okay, we're going to move the drivers back a little bit. Hopefully this is still... let me check if this is still in camera. Alright, so you can see... let me just fix this. Sorry. Hold up. I gotta do something really quickly. Just make sure this is properly aligned. And yeah, so you can see the whole box now. Cool. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the chips, the drivers, and the armors all back, including L gear, and we're going to do the discs next. So the discs, you're going to have it in the same section, right? So you want illegal, you want spread dash, you want tapered, you want over, and basically this is going to be the stamina kind of section, right? And then you have legacy, you have fortress, and you have we're gonna put, well, we can put Giga, I suppose, in. See, this is weird because discs are more versatile and then they can be used in different things. So we're gonna place Giga in all these here. So this is more stamina usage but more versatile. We're gonna place fortress Yeah, okay, we'll do that. We're gonna place Fortress, Legacy, Wing Dash, and Xanthus in here. And we're gonna place Nexus plus S and Nexus plus D kind of over here. And then we're gonna switch this. So now basically what you have is you have, we're gonna move Tapered over here actually. Okay, so now what we have is we basically have 3 sections, four theoretically. We have basically all KO attack over here. It's gonna be used. Then we're gonna have stamina. So these 3 are stamina, the blades, and then these 4 blades are like recoil aggressive, right? And then out of these discs can be used. So illegal, over, giga, and spread dash. Now tapered is not a very good stamina disc simply because it's too light to be used for stamina. And we're actually going to place, over specifically over here. We're going to place giga. Let's switch these up. So just kind of to have it in the middle. So basically these discs, besides over, we're going to place giga and here like kind of in the middle because these 4 discs can also be used on aggressive like combinations. So they're going to be used for these, and these 4. But these are mainly for attack, these is mainly for stamina. Tapered, Nexus plus D, Nexus plus S can be used for attack, but I prefer my discs personally to be lighter. And I think Nexus plus S and Nexus plus D just work best on these types of combinations here. And tapered is just too light, but it has a lot of downward weight, so it can be used for equalization. So again, stamina specifically, this is like stamina slash recoil, kind of like balance, attack, equalizer, right? Okay, so I kind of just did a whole part, and I probably edited it out, but basically, the armors are not going to be used specifically for each type of combination. The armors are more suited for like each blade. So maybe like wind is best with the 9 armor no matter what combination, etc., etc. So the armors we're going to do later, maybe in part 3. Now the chips are basically going to be used here. So the chips are not going to be like, they're not going to be attack, stamina, defense, obviously. They're going to be used for burst resistance, maybe stamina, maybe attack, depends, right? So Dragon and Valkyrie are, and let's also put, should we put Excalibur there? Okay, first of all, we're going to do burst resistance cores. So Valkyrie, Kerbeus, Belial 2, and Belial 3. So all of these cores specialize in burst resistance. Then we're going to have Achilles and Spriggan, which are just 2 dual spin cores you can use. So these cores are pretty much good for anything. They're not too light, they're not too heavy. They have good burst resistance. You can use it in either spin direction. So they're just like overall good to use. Then we're going to have like heavy cores like Longinus, Perseus, and Excalibur. So these cores are best with like attack stuff or something that you want weight on. Excalibur is specifically for like Xiphoid, or if you want to use it on a dash driver with a stamina type, because the sword will come out if you don't have a dash driver, and that makes the combo really off balance. Even for attack, that is not good because it throws off your accuracy with flower patterns and launches. So you want to keep the sword of Excalibur in, and you do that by not having the gimmick activate. The sword comes out when you reach 2 clicks, and the best way to not reach 2 clicks is to have good burst resistance. So a dash driver makes sense with this. And then you also have Dragon and Valkyrie, which are kind of... we'll put them just in their separate category, because Dragon and Valkyrie are best for like mobile drivers that suffer with self-KOing, and they're also good for defense with stamina. Dragon being the better of the 2. So that's that. Now the drivers are drivers are easy to do. So we're going to pair evolution. Actually, we should probably put them where they should belong. So we're going to switch these sections here just so you guys who are watching have a better idea of what goes with attack and what doesn't. So we're going to put Valkyrie here. We're going to put this here. And we're going to put Dragon kind of here with these in here and Okay, that's better. So now we have basically 4 sections with the armors and everything. We're gonna put the armors in the middle here, just to kind of have it there, right? So now we have this. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to have stamina. So bearing drift. This is getting messy. We're gonna have never, high extent plus dash, wave dash, bearing, and bearing Mobius. Now we're gonna have more specific stuff. So equalizers are gonna be these, which we'll put over here. Obviously, bearing Mobius and bearing drift you can use instead of these two. In fact, bearing drift is just a better drift, but Mobius has more specific qualities than bearing Mobius, because drift and bearing drift, you just basically make drift better with here, but with bearing Mobius versus Mobius, it's a different driver completely, right? Now, then you have like, I guess we could separate it into niche, so hybrid would go kind of here. We're going to put evolution, quick dash, and evolution dash. Where did I put evolution dash? Where did I put evolution? Here. There we go. We're going to put that there. And then we're going to move stamina over here just a bit. Actually, we'll take out wave dash. So this is like equalizers. We're going to have wave dash and quattro in like same spin. We'll put universe here too, same spin. And then we're going to have like octa adventure plus V for like weighted attack / anti-attack. We're going to put hybrid also in like the middle here, because it's like a mix between these. And we're going to put moment in same spin. We're going to put rise in the anti-attack section. So now we have them in categories. We have equalizer layers, stamina layers that can be used for other reasons, more like balance-ish layers, and KO attack layers. We have the discs lined up with them, so generally you want to have, these are attack discs, these are like stamina discs, these 4 can be used otherwise, over, the armors are specific for the layers, then you have these discs, the chips, these 2 are just dual spin in general, these 2 are better for like defense, and yeah, so there, we're gonna put, actually, yeah, so these don't exactly line up because you're definitely going to want some other things, right? Like on Prominence, you could probably get away with using Valkyrie, but on Gatling, for example, you want to use Perseus, and Zyphoid, you want to use Excalibur, but this is basically the categories. So each row, there's this row, there's this row, there's this row, and there's this row. You basically want to take each row individually and make a combo out of that. But that's not exactly how you should go about it, because there are other ways. But this is just for like neatness, kind of. I know it's messy, but we're gonna basically separate them into categories. So we did that. This was part 2. How long did this take? This took about 16 minutes, so not like I was expecting this to go a lot shorter, but I talked a lot. That should be fine. So yeah, this was part 2. And we're just separating these into categories. That's pretty much it for this video. Subscribe for more content like Beyblade stuff and competitive stuff, fun stuff in general, and don't forget to keep on blading.